Hello, crafty friends. This is Cheryl here. Today I'm taking a break from Christmas things. I might work on some later. But what I'm going to do today is I'm going to make a really easy masterboard. And I'm using book pages for the base. And I have this whole bag of different things, mostly like paper that doesn't have a lot of writing or anything on it. And I'm gonna make like a Tim Holtz style masterboard that then I'm gonna cut up and show you how cute these Tim Holtz bases and how easy they are to make for tags. So stay with me and I'll show you how to do it. Okay, so I have my glue stick here and I'm just going to make my base. I'm just using these old book pages to make the base. Sometimes, you know, when I make a masterboard, I make I use, like, you know, scrapbook paper or whatever, or cardstock or file folder. This time I'm using book page, and I'm just going to put it together in a rectangle. At least I'm going to try to put it together in a rectangle. Not getting off to a very good start here, am I? And that's going to make it thin, which is what I want, because when you add all the other stuff, you know, you don't want your tag to be too thick. And I'm learning how to make things thinner. I did one of these already. I cut up the tags and they're marvelous. I'm going to, you know, make some Tim Holtz or similar style of masterboard. And as you can see, I'm kind of struggling here, but I'm going to get there. And so these book pages, you know, this is from a book that I used to punch the holes when I was sewing signatures into a book cover. So it doesn't matter how they look. All right, so there's a pretty big, I could even add one more. I'm hoping I have enough papers to actually make it pretty big. You know, I'd like to make it pretty big so that I have a lot of tags. And I just want to put my pitch in for my Scotch Create permanent glue stick. This is the only glue stick that I enjoy. I bought others when I ran out, and I had to wait because I ordered these off Amazon, and I had to wait for them to come. And you know, I tried some other and it just wasn't the same. So just saying. All right, I think that's big enough for what we're doing here today. So I have here in this Ziploc bag the remainder of all the stuff that I used before. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to start putting some different things down. It's very early in the morning here, and it is raining like I haven't seen in a while. So there we go. I'm just going to start putting different papers down. I'm not going to be too precious about it at all. I'm going to tear them, and I'm going to be putting them down just in pieces. And this is a really cool thing I pulled out. And And you know, if you've ever made or ever seen Tim Holtz's what do you call it? Collage paper. I mean, it's fun, but you can make your own. You can make it like this. You can make it on tracing. You can just stamp on tracing paper. We have done that before, and here in the group, Junk Journaling Journey. And as you can see, I'm just gonna start putting things down everywhere, and they're plain. Instead of using book pages and all of that, they're relatively plain. This one has a little bit of writing on it. Some have a little bit of writing, but that'll just add to the background. And some of it has lines, but you'll see in the end how cool it is. And I'm going to cut it up. I'm going to blind cut it right here. If you stay to the end, I'm going to blind cut it. That means I'm not going to look at where I'm cutting. And we'll see what happens. Now, I do have a few book pages here because I do want a little bit. I have some, look at this. I have some really cool embossed, well, look at that. Some embossed paper, and it's not in the greatest of shape, and it's kind of, I think I embossed a piece of like thin 20-pound paper. You know, I don't use 20-pound paper mostly because it's so thin and fragile. Like even when you coffee dye it, it can be that way. So I rarely use it, but I think this was from a long time ago and I did use it. And now I use, if I'm going to print something or make a signature or anything for, you know, to make a journal or to make ephemera or anything, I use 22, and mostly I like 24-pound paper. And there's even paper that is higher than that, but 24 is about as thick as I've used, and it's just so sturdy. And especially, you know, like if you're making a journal, you don't want your journal pages to tear so easy and be so thin that they, you know, people can easily tear them. And so I've got some kind of old document. And I'm just gonna put it down. And you notice that I'm using different color papers, different types of papers, and it's making a neutral background, which is what we want for Tim Holtz, you know, because then we can add all kinds of stuff to it, okay? And I am gonna stamp and stencil on all of this when I get it covered here. And it's not really taking me that long, if you can see. And it's not so precious, you know, it's just paper. Sometimes people get all in a tiz when they are going to make something and they overthink, even like making a masterboard. Don't overthink. Just slap it down. You know, now some people put their papers all different ways and all torn up in different shapes. I prefer, personally, I prefer basically square pieces. You know, they don't have to all be perfectly square, but you know, I like the torn with a ruler kind of pieces mostly. That's just my personal preference. Everybody has their own preference. And I'm going to put some blue dyed paper in here. And I don't like that. Okay. Yeah, I'm going to put some blue in there. I mixed it up before. I used these same papers to make a board, and it just, oh, I love it so much. It came out so cute. So I'm gonna try to do this. I'm trying to do the same thing again, and then I'm trying to hurry so we can get to the fun part, and that is the decorating it and cutting it without looking. Okay. I really, really love this. Now, this is really hard to tear into a perfect, you know, rectangle, because it's, like I said, it's the cheap printer paper that I used a long time ago, and I never could really use it for anything because of that, you know, because it was just so fragile. But I can use it for this because this will strengthen it. So, yeah. So, let me see. Oh, look at this. I have this cool looking coffee dyed paper. Put some of that in there. And I can use both sides. One's darker than the other, so I can, you know, do both. I really love it. Okay, I think I'll do another piece of that somewhere. So do you make masterboards? Maybe I should ask you, do you like Tim Holtz? I mean, I don't know too many people who don't like Tim Holtz stuff. There's just not a whole lot of people out there that don't like it. So I'm assuming almost everybody likes it. Well, that was really good. That was really good. Yep. That was just perfect. Now this has a little bit of a print on it, but it's so light that I don't think it's going to make a difference in any harmful way. I think the overall look of it is what I'm looking for. It's starting to look good. Now, I am going to put a couple book page pieces in here, just the text block. I don't like the white around the edges at all. But I am going to put a couple pieces in. Just for, this is getting pretty sticky. Just for variation, you know, because we have to have a little bit of variation. So I've been working on Christmas, and I needed to take a little break so I can get re-inspired because I've been doing a Christmas journal, and it's very fat, and it's just full of lovely things. And I hope that whoever I give it to will love it as much as I do, because I do love it. Here we go. So I got some book page. I need some more of the brown paper. This brown paper is just paper bag. Just a paper bag that I took apart for another reason, and this is what was left. It's a thin, like lunch style paper bag, not the heavy grocery bag or anything. And so let me see what else I have in here. I have a feeling I'm missing something. Maybe not. Maybe not. I just love this coffee dyed paper so much. You can't go wrong. All right, let's see here. Notice I'm doing all different sizes. I'm not being so precious about it that I'm, you know, I'm not trying to overthink it. I'm trying to just slap it down, because in the end it's going to be gorgeous. So let me trim this up. Where are my scissors? My scissors. Has anyone here ever done a masterboard base with book pages? I'm going to tell you something. I'm loving it. Now, I could do one like the same way and then I could make it Christmas. I could stamp on it and stencil on it and splatter and all of that and make it Christmas too. I was just thinking that, I'm trying to get re-inspired to do some more Christmas things. And so that could be a thing. Now, there it is. And that didn't take very long. And it's very neutral, as you can see. I hope the lighting is good. I hope you can see it really good. I'm trying to show it to you. It's very neutral. So I'm going to get this stuff out of the way, because now I'm going to bring out more mess. And that mess is going to be, I'm keeping all these pieces because I can use them again and make another one and maybe make it Christmas. You know what I'm saying? Okay. So I need a drink of my coffee here, and then we're going to begin to stamp on here. All right, and then we're going to stencil. And it's not going to take very long either. I love it. So I'm using black permanent ink, of course. And I just brought out all kinds of stamps that I could use. Butterflies and dragonflies. And so I'm going to start with, let's see, I'm going to start with some of these. I don't even know what they are. They're just, somebody got them for me, I think. Or maybe I got them for myself. But they look Tim Holtzy. And if I can get the bag open, we'll get them out. All right. So here we go. So let's just start with one. Just doesn't matter. This has some script and I think some flowers. There we go. And we're just gonna put a little bit of it on there. Okay. Might use it again, I don't know. I'm just gonna start using some of these. This is a good way to use your stamps. And I just am putting them in all different directions, you know. And yeah. I have some numbers here. That's cool. Let me see if I can get them on here straight. So I'm just going to put some numbers. Whoop. Every direction, doesn't matter. Okay, looks cool. All right. See how this happens? Then I'm going to start putting some of the signature winged things that you see a lot on his collage paper. Putting them everywhere, just anywhere. Just anywhere. All right. And how about some butterflies? Tim Holtz is pretty famous for butterflies. Now this is a big one, and I'm probably going to just do half of the wing on the edge of a page or somewhere. Yeah. That's really cool looking. Do one up here. Yeah. Very cool. And then I'm going to just put some other butterflies on here. That's what we do. So see how it's starting to look kind of Tim Holtzy, like his collage paper. Yeah, that's what we're going for. And we'll do some different size butterflies. And we might even do some little, I think this is some kind of little flower or weed. Yeah, look at that. Very nice, very nice. Now a smaller butterfly here. Look at that. Look at that. It looks good. Okay, so before I do any more, oh, that's a faux pas. Before I do any more, I'm going to now stencil on here. Oh, actually, I want to put some of these big numbers on here because they're kind of cool. And I, of course, always get ink all over my fingers. It's just the way it is. But, you know, you want to use permanent ink on this kind of stuff. That cool looking? Let's put another one on there. How about the number 5? Now see, this is only taking minutes to actually do. So you can have a masterboard in no time. You know what I mean? All right. So we'll do some stenciling and then check it out after that to see if there's any more that we need to do. So I have here this stencil from zHoltz. It's well, it just says mixed media, so it's just circles and crosses. And I'm just going to use this, and I'm just going to start, you know, doing some stenciling on here. Just going all over it. And making it look very mixed media. And it's just going to be such a cool background for a zHoltz tag. And I also have some of these small number stencil, and so we're going to put them very light in the background also. They just look so super cool. And they fill it in. Look at that. So cool looking. Isn't this fun? It's fun. Okay. There we go. Look at that. It's just fun. All right. So that looks about like I want it to look. Very messy. All right. So there's that. Now it's done. Look at that. Ladies and gentlemen. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to let it dry it a little bit. And I'm going to cut it. Now it's very thin. But you can back this. Like if you're making a tag and you want it after you decorate with all the zHoltz style things, if it's still too flimsy for you, you can back this with coffee dye paper. You can back it with file folder. I mean, you can back it with stuff later and make it sturdier. But I'm telling you, it's really cool to have something thin to begin with. And then you can always sturdy it up, you know what I mean? And And you can see I get messy. So let me get my cutter. I'll be right back. All right, so we're going to cut this. Now, here's the other ones that I made. And as you can see, these tags are very Tim Holtzy. And I can see Tim Holtz people and labels and things on there making this very, very mixed media. Has a very mixed media look. And I even used some other kind of a thing on there. A stamp, I think it was. With that, I should do that. I should totally use that on here before I cut this up. But I can actually use that on there when I go to make the tag itself, you know, the different tags. So I'm going to turn it over. I don't know if anybody has ever done this before, but I'm just going to turn it over, and I'm not going to look. Not going to look. We're going to look. Whoops, let me get this down. We're going to look after I get it all cut up. We're going to look at all the pieces just to see how super cool they look. Okay. So I don't want to burn my house down. I need my candle. All right. So I'm going to cut this in a tag shape about 3 inches. And I'll do another one. So I have the 3-inch tags. And then, let's see, one more, I guess. Because tags are the favorite. Okay. Now I want to do maybe, let me see what I have here. I could make journal cards. Let's make 2 journal cards. So they'll be 4 inches. Okay, and then by about 4 inches, 4.5 inches. Yeah, about 4.5 inches. So we got journal cards, and then I can, let's see, this is I can't see, 1, 2, 3. This is 3.5 inches wide. So if we go and we cut it like at about 2, we're going to get these tall ones, which could be bookmarks. They could be tall tags. I don't know. What do you think? Or I could do 3 inches and then I just have a strip that I can use somehow. All right, I'm going to do that because, you know, I'm in love with tags. All right, so let's take a look at what we have here. Oh, I should cut them. I should cut them into the tag lengths. I'm going to have squares after I cut a 6-inch tag, which will be really good because these can become like clusters then. You know, the basis for clusters or some other thing. Look at that. Look at that. Well, we can't have that now, can we? How did that happen? But we can fix almost anything. All right. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. Or this could even be a small journal card. I don't know. We'll see. There's all kinds of things that you can do with your master boards. No rules. There are no rules. Right? The rule is, in junk journaling, that there are no rules. You can make it how you want it to be. All right. So now let's look at what we have. So looky there. Let me get rid of this. Looky there. We have these beautiful tag bases. Very mixed media. Look at that. So there's 4 tag bases. I can add different things. I can put a Tim Holtz. I can add doily, coffee dyed doily. I can add ephemera pieces and a Tim Holtz paper doll to these. Actually, I actually like them the way they are too. But, you know, so there's that. The journal cards, here they are. Look how cute they are. You can do so much. And here are the smaller pieces, which could become like little clusters. You know, clusters and whatever you want them to be, or tiny journal cards or little pockets. These could actually be pockets. They could become pockets. So there we go. Aren't they cute? And I have the ones I did the other day, you know, and I made smaller tags the other day. So I would have some small tags, and then I think these were like journal cards or pockets, and then these are the others. So there you go, folks. Very, very easy. Very, very fun, because you don't have to be so, you don't have to overthink. You don't have to be so precise. It's mixed media. You could add splatters to these. When you go to make your tags, I could add gold splatters. I could add white splatters. I could add whatever I want on here and make a really cool looking Tim Holtz style tag. And this is the base. Very neutral. So there you go. You could take the same concept of the neutral background, maybe not quite as dark, or maybe so, I don't know. Maybe you could do all lighter papers, and you could stencil and stamp Christmas, and you would have Christmas bases to put little pieces of ephemera and stuff on and make Christmas tags and fussy cuts. So there you go. I hope this will help you. Here's this little strip. And this is a sweet little strip that I can put along the edge of a page. I can make, I could cut it and use it to collage with. Okay, so it's not junk. It's not trash. So anyway, I hope this helps you. If you like this video, please give me a thumbs up. And don't forget to subscribe so that you don't miss any future content. Have a great crafty day, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.